Welcome to Bookish Mind Podcast, Season 4, Episode 17, a powerful continuation of our journey through Atomic Habits by James Clear. In this episode, we explore how to break bad habits and reinforce good ones through accountability, social pressure, and the strategic use of habit contracts. So today, we're diving deep into this really fascinating idea from James Clear, strategically making bad habits unsatisfying. We'll look at how accountability and these things called habit contracts can help break those unwanted patterns and lock in the good ones.
It really flips the script, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Usually we focus on making good habits satisfying, easy, obvious.
Right.
But this is the inverse. It's about making the bad habit immediately painful or costly. It taps into something really fundamental, our drive to avoid discomfort.
Yeah, it's less about sheer willpower and more about clever design, setting things up so the bad choice hurts right away.
Exactly. And Clear uses this pretty startling anecdote to kick things off. Roger Fisher, the Harvard negotiation guy.
Oh yeah, the nuclear codes story.
Yeah.
That one really makes you think.
It does. His idea, just to recap for everyone, wasn't hiding the codes in a briefcase. No, it was putting them in a capsule surgically implanted next to the heart of a volunteer.
A volunteer who follows the president everywhere.
Right, and carries a big butcher knife. So if the president wants to launch, he first has to personally kill this innocent person to get the codes.
The idea being, as Fisher put it, to bring the reality of death home. Blood on the White House carpet. Chillin' stuff.
But the key part for our discussion is the Pentagon's reaction. They basically said, that's terrible. Having to kill someone would distort the president's judgment. He might never push the button.
Which is exactly Fisher's point.
Precisely, and it perfectly illustrates the inversion of Clear's fourth law. The fourth law is make it satisfying for good habits, the inverse. Make it immediately unsatisfying to break bad ones. That visceral, immediate, awful consequence prevents the action.
So just like getting an immediate reward reinforces a good habit, getting immediate negative feedback helps us avoid a bad one.
Pain is a very effective teacher, as Clear says. It's fast. You touch a hot stove once, you learn instantly right.
You don't need a second lesson on that one.
Exactly. And the more immediate and costly that mistake, the quicker we adjust our behavior. A delayed consequence, much easier to ignore.
That makes sense. Like a plumber getting a bad review online. That hurts their business now.
Right, or a restaurant losing a customer who vows never to return. Or a surgeon facing, catastrophic consequences for error. It forces precision.
Even everyday things, like late fees on bills. They work because the penalty is swift.
Or grades tied to class attendance. It ensures students show up. The consequence for not doing the desired thing is immediate and clear.
So that immediacy is the absolute key. Clear really emphasizes this. The more local, tangible, concrete, and immediate the consequence, the better it works.
Whereas global, intangible, vague, delayed consequences, they just don't have the same behavioral punch. Thinking about climate change in 50 years versus, say, paying a carbon tax today, very different motivational impact.
And that's the challenge with bad habits, isn't it? They often give us some immediate reward, some comfort, even if we know they're bad long-term.
That's why they're sticky. So Clear's solution is to increase the speed of the punishment. Close that gap between the action and the negative consequence. Make the cost unavoidable and felt right away.
Which sounds a bit like behavioral economics in action. We value immediate things, good or bad, much more than future ones.
Totally. Our brains are wired for that. So if doing the wrong thing brings an immediate certain cost, we're much more likely to avoid it. We'll actually work pretty hard to avoid even minor immediate discomfort.
Okay, so how do we actually engineer this immediate cost for our own habits?
Well, one straightforward way Clear discusses is the habit contract. This is where you start bringing in social forces.
Right, leveraging other people. He talks about seatbelt laws as a kind of societal habit contract.
Yeah, that's a great example. When New York passed the first law in '84, seatbelt use was, like 14%? But then other states followed. Laws were enforced. And by 2016, usage was up near 88%. A massive shift.
Because society basically made a contract. We agree this is important, and there's a penalty if you don't comply.
Exactly. Laws are social contracts. We agree to rules, and there's group enforcement. Smoking bans, recycling mandates, same principle. You can create a personal version of this.
So the habit contract, it's basically a written or verbal agreement. You state the habit you commit to or the bad habit you'll avoid.
And crucially, you state the punishment if you fail.
And then you get accountability partners. One or two people who sign it with you, Who will enforce the consequence?
Even without a formal contract, just having an accountability partner makes a difference. Like Margaret Cho, the comedian, doing a song-a-day challenge with a friend. Just knowing someone else is expecting it helps keep you on track.
Why does that work so well psychologically?
It taps into something incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
We care deeply about what others think of us. Reputation matters.
Social survival, almost.
Kind of, yeah. Knowing someone is watching, that they'll know if you fail. That adds an immediate social cost. You don't just let yourself down. You risk looking untrustworthy or lazy to others.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody. The desire to maintain a good reputation is a potent motivator.
And Clear even mentions automated accountability, like that entrepreneur Thomas Frank.
Oh, yeah, the wake-up tweet. That's brilliant. If he doesn't get up by 5:55 a.m., a tweet automatically goes out saying he's lazy and offering to pay people $5 via PayPal.
Huh. That combines public shame and a financial penalty. Talk about immediate and unsatisfying.
It's genius because it leverages that core insight.
Yeah.
We're always managing our reputation, trying to present our best selves. Habit contracts and accountability partners just formalize that and turn it into a tool for change.
Okay, let's look at a really concrete example of this in action. Brian Harris, the entrepreneur trying to lose weight.
Right, the Nashville guy. He didn't just vaguely want to get healthier after his son was born. He got specific.
He created a serious habit contract with his wife and his personal trainer.
And the objective was super clear in the contract for Q1. Start eating right, feel better, look better, aiming for 200 pounds at 10% body fat long term. Clarity is key.
Then he broke it down into phases. Phase 1, strict diet. Phase 2, macro tracking. Phase 3, maintenance. And the daily habits were non-negotiable. Log all food, weigh himself daily.
And here come the teeth, the punishments. If he missed even one day of logging or weighing in Q1.
He had to dress up, like properly dress up, no casual wear for work, and Sunday mornings for the rest of the quarter.
That's quite the commitment. Plus, fork over $200 to his trainer.
And he insisted on getting those signatures, his wife's, his trainers.
Yeah.
He apparently said, anytime I skip this part, I start slacking almost immediately.
He knew himself.
That shows real self-awareness and commitment to the process. The signatures make it real, make it binding.
And then, get this, after hitting his Q1 goals, he didn't ease up. He increased the penalties for Q2.
Smart move. Keep the pressure on. What were the new penalties?
Missed macro targets. $100 to the trainer. Failed to weigh himself. A whopping $500 to his wife. Ouch. That's serious financial pain.
And the kicker, especially for him as an Auburn fan, if he skipped his sprints, he had to dress up and wear an Alabama hat his rival teams had for the rest of the quarter.
Oh, wow. That's not just financial pain. That's deep emotional and social pain. Tailored perfectly to him.
Exactly. And guess what?
It worked.
It totally worked. He lost the weight. The combination of clear goals, daily tracking, unwavering accountability partners, and those immediate painful public consequences did the trick.
It's such a powerful illustration of the whole principle. Make the failure immediately and personally costly, and behavior changes.
So, wrapping up the main points from this deep dive. First, the big idea is inverting the fourth law, make bad habits immediately unsatisfying, even painful.
Second, accountability partners are crucial for adding that immediate social cost. We hate letting others down or looking bad.
Third, the habit contract is the practical tool. It makes the commitment explicit and the consequences clear, public, and painful.
And it all really highlights how much our desire for a good reputation and social approval can drive our actions, often more than we realize.
So for you listening, here's something to chew on, a final thought from us based on all this.
Yeah, think about your own goals. That one habit you really want to break, or that good one you just can't seem to stick with. Ask yourself, what small, immediate, tangible costs could you introduce?
And how could you bring in social awareness, maybe an accountability partner, to make that cost truly bite, to make it unavoidable?
It's a powerful question to consider.
It really is. Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive into atomic habits and these strategies for dismantling bad habits. Thank you so much for joining us.
We hope these ideas give you some practical tools to think about applying in your own life.
Absolutely. Consider how you might engineer a little bit of productive dissatisfaction. Until next time.